most valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree?
Boom. Back again, guys. Just here to show you some interesting results in a new experiment. Let's just start out. I burned for exactly an hour. I had what's in this bucket, which is the charcoal. That's what it looks like. That's all the ash from the entire hour. This is what the log looks like all the way around. It's blackened, but still in good shape. Still a log, dark in there. So it's like, so what I've come to the conclusion is it's like flashing the surface because it's an inert environment. So the only place combustion can occur is where the air is pushed in with the pump, special kind of pump that does low pressure and high volume. It comes in through this tube and it's just introduced to this sealed bucket. The only byproducts of this reaction is the bucket gets hot, but as you can see, paint is only like burnt and rusted in certain spots. Those are hot spots. Those have gotten up to 400 or 500 degrees. Now I did run this for about 2 minutes with my 200 watt pump and it kind of got out of control. But anyway, that's a side conversation. But let me keep going with this. So what I've noticed is this actually produces a really neat thing, which is charcoal. I don't know if you've ever seen, let's come back here. And maybe you can't see it, but up close maybe you can. But if you drop this stuff, it makes the same sound and it has the same lightness as that charcoal, that expensive stuff you buy at the store. And that's the only byproduct of this reaction, especially if you shut it off mid stride. Is I can turn this, we'll see what happens. We're gonna run it for 3 hours today, or maybe 6, I don't know. This is what the other byproduct is wood tar. That's an hour of running, maybe a little bit more accumulated if you add it up, but you can see it rusts because the byproducts that come out the chimney are just steam and a little bit of smoke, just the tiniest bit. To give you an idea, there is some buildup there, but this stuff's same as the inside. It just pushes away. It's not solid by any means. You can literally just, it scrapes right off into powder. So yeah, this, when you first done with the reaction, is all like a fine, almost like brownish, like molasses tar, but there's really none up here at the top of the exhaust. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with. And there's just an air input. That's all they pump in is air. There's your half-assed JB Weld job. And then this is what the pieces of wood end up looking like. They get like flash burnt. This is this hardwood right here, and it's significantly lighter and it's starting to charcoalize. So like, this is the charcoal. You see it breaks really easy. It's ultra light. It's like shining like graphite inside. And I almost wonder, that's carbon, obviously. That's carbonized wood. And so is this, I mean, technically wouldn't this be a destructive distillation unit, because the air that I'm pumping in is getting consumed. I've actually visualized that with my log experiment where I drilled a hole and I pumped air through the hole and I ignited it with just a couple charcoals, and it burnt the whole entire center of the log out over a period of just over an hour. I cored out the center of a log. It was really neat. It was 1,000-degree temperatures right in the center, but the wood stayed cool the whole time, and it was pretty nifty. But during that, I observed that there's no flame. There's also no smoke. It was literally just like the perfect combustion of that wood, what it needed, the air. But I was using a 200 watts to drive that. But this, all my previous experiments have been at 30 watts. So I've got all these different air pumps. They all work same way. But now I've gotten a 60 watt. Well, it's 58 watts. I ordered it. And that's the experiment we're going to run today. So let me get that all set up. Enough of my talk. So I'll be back with you about what I think, though. But I think that it's inert atmosphere, because all that oxygen gets used up. And what you're left with is just inert environment, oxygen free. So all the stuff that's not currently being combusted, like imagine a coal that you're blowing on, that's what it looks like. Anything that's not doing that is just staying nice and cool in a basically an oxygen free inert environment, because it's all been consumed by what is burning. So it just gradually consumes this away, and that's how it's able to run for 18 hours the one time on one bucket of wood. And that's basically this experiment. I'm trying to speed it up, if you will. Now what I'm going to do, I'm also going to test out, is I've got my flagpole here, and years ago I drilled a hole. See, there's this hole drilled in there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's right there. I could widen it, but up at the top there is a hole, and I had a water line ran through that. If you look at my old videos, you might find it if you're interested, but it was 2 5-gallon buckets up there at the top. I had a winch right here, and this pole used to actually this flagpole sat on top of the fence, and it was there for 6 years, but then a windstorm came. Well, it was a tornado actually across the street. Literally witnessed it. Came down the street, ripped out a bunch of trees, knocked trees on houses, and anyway, it bent this pole. But this was well after my experiment was done, where I had the 2 5-gallon buckets that I would suspend up there. Built this little unit to raise and lower it, and I grew all different plants up there. I'm not going to get into what plants, but I got a lot of pounds growing 24 feet in the air. Just kind of really cool experiment. I did it for 10 years. I did that experiment. I had this at my old apartment, and I had it here the whole time I lived. But now I just let hops. It grows all the way up to the top of the pole, and then when it buds out, it drops back down. Now I just cut a bunch of it and kind of threw it right here. I'll let it dry. I'll probably burn it in my reactor, because getting back to this, you can literally burn anything in this. And I'm going to run that exhaust because I'm pressurizing it. So I can, because I've been bubbling it through water, and after an hour of running, see, it looks like piss. That's not piss. It's not some sick person's piss. It's flat out, that's all the combustion products from an hour of this running. Not charcoal that you see. All that was produced, and that was all the byproduct, was this tar, that water, and you could barely smell it in the air. I mean, the temperature, I was using rubber and plastic attached to this end, and it never got high enough to melt either. PEX, I can kind of show you. Got it right here. It never melted the PEX or this blue hose that was directly in it. So this is just rubber. It is good hose, but high quality, like 300 psi. Good stuff, but it did not melt. Even though electrical tape didn't melt, I broke that off. But this was my contraption to double bubble this sucker. It's pretty freaking cool. But I made videos, but I just decided not to upload them. Didn't think anybody would be that interested. Plus, it was a super contraption. But let's fire this up. All right, we're gonna ignite it with these 6 little sand coals. This is the unit we're using. We got it right here. Run it into this hose, that reducer, and it'll come out. Hopefully no smoke, but maybe some smoke will come out the top. We'll figure it out. We're gonna run this burn. All right, back in the old garage. Been a long time. A little picked up, so we can do stuff like this. Got the 30 watt. Now today, testing the brand new 58 watt. These are both 200 watters. Got a router speed controller hooked up to a 200 watter. I was testing it. It actually, unfortunately, works better than my big fancy Variac. I don't know why, but I get more speed range and control with this old router motor speed controller. So I guess we got that, but we don't need to turn these down because I got these are about $50. It's a 58 watt, and I think this is going to be perfect for the 5 gallon. At least we're going to test what it does. And we got the new temperature gun. I'm gonna try out, see if we can see it on camera. You can see this one a lot better on camera, so give her a shot. Everything's fired up. I guess I'll take you out here. It's not going yet, but I got 8 charcoals. That's all I'm gonna use is 8 well-burnt charcoals that are going good. And then we got our wood kind of organized, ready to go. And we're gonna drop the charcoal in, and we're gonna set this on top, and we're gonna let it chooch. And we're gonna read the temperature, and the smoke's gonna come out through several reducers. It's gonna go up the flagpole and out the top hole, because I have the 2 holes drilled like I was explaining earlier. Used to have my sky garden, which is quite a bit higher, but now I've lowered the pipe so the intake's way down there. Alright, so now we just got it fired up. Do see a little bit of smoke coming out the very top up there. Let's see if we can see it. It is a little bit, it's mostly steam actually, not smoke. So let's get down here. It's literally 30 seconds after I hooked the air pump up. It's already rising up there. Oh, got us a little leak on my seal. Not too bad. It's enough to suck though. It kind of bumps me out, but maybe it'll seal from tar. Got a little smoke in the air. It smells not bad. So we're just gonna let it chooch. See if it seals from tar. Now why it's leaking is because it's got a restriction. So there's the reduction, so we'll just let it run. Maybe we'll check the temperature real quick. Starting out, we got 8 charcoals in there. Alright, so it's up to 125. We'll lift this up so the handle melted a long time ago, but 188. So we got some warmth. Definitely warming up quicker than the 30 watt pump. This is about double that, so would expect that. Let's see what we got on the lid. Already got 100 and something degrees. I'm gonna pour some water on there for cooling. Alright, so the lid's blowing back out of the pole, so we'll have to seal that. And obviously we'll have to remake our gasket next time, but this time add a little bit of water there. See if it does the really cool geometric patterns. I don't know if I've talked about that, but when this thing's unrestricted and the air just comes out there, you get these crazy 3-dimensional patterns. I'll put them in place here so you can see what I'm talking about. That's definitely steaming. There's that pattern. Now, those patterns are incredible because I don't know of any other way to make that type of pattern with the mechanism, so let me know what you think. But we're getting more leakage here. I'm getting some backblast there. Oh look, it's coming right out real good up there. It's basically spraying out that hole under pressure. So we got some good pressure. Let's see how fast our temperatures are going up. Say 4 minutes after ignition. Oh, coming way up. Alright. Now when this thing runs away, you get explosions. So, holy moly. So you might get a runaway. Obviously it's pushing the water off. Don't know if that water's steaming or if that's smoke yet. I'll be back with you in about 10 minutes. Well, about 6 minutes in, I had to take it off. So we still got a little smoke running out here, but it got too hot. So I think I'm getting a little bit of that runaway I had previously, but maybe not quite. Maybe we're developing the temperatures that I want. Because remember, it's a heating device. This is no good if it stays how I had it at. 100 to 300. So I got to find that sweet spot. Oh yeah. So some spots we're almost 500 degrees. Oh, we're getting the movement on the lid. 152, so we're boiling and steaming the water. Well, let's see if it slows down or, oh, you're getting the patterns. That's really cool. You can see those three-dimensional. They're super crazy. See how they come and go. So yeah, that's unrestricted. You get this crazy psychedelic pattern. Super cool. Alright. I'll probably move this. It's another cool thing is no matter how hot it is, I can just grab the handle and move it so it's mobile. Could put this bucket down inside the 55-gallon drum, so that's for future experiments. But I could clean that up, fill it with water, set this bucket down and in, see how quickly and how long it can heat the water. If it boils it or what happens. I don't think it'll boil it. Maybe. We're just gonna let this chooch for a while. I'm gonna put it back where it belongs there. So obviously we gotta have a more durable unit to vent up there. Well, it's been about 8 minutes. It looks like, unfortunately, my 60 watts is too much for something this size, maybe. We're getting a lot of movement. Let's see where we're at temperature-wise. Almost 500 in some spots. Air's coming in right about there, so 340. So yeah, the air, right around the air supply down here at the bottom, at almost 600 degrees. You can see the steam is coming out quite rapido. Let's see how hot the exhaust is. Oh yeah, it's pretty warm. 260. So the exhaust is 260 degrees, so that steam is near superheated. So this is about perfect for heating though, so a little more durable chamber. Let's just see, we're gonna let this rock and roll, see how long it runs, or hopefully it doesn't start shooting shit out when it starts going. But I think it's at a level. At least we're at 8 minutes. So we're just gonna let it chooch. And I'll be back. Alright, back again. So I made some adjustments. It's been about 15 minutes. I put my motor controller on. And that's turned way down. So the smoke's way down. It's silent. It's practically silent. Temperatures are still gonna be up from that hot running. Let's just see where we're at for now. I can deal with this amount of smoke. We were getting just too much smoke. Smoked the neighbors out. So if I had a whatchamacallit, kilowatt or some kind of measurement, I could measure this. So we'll order one of those for future experiments. But yeah, we got slightly warm outside, but we just don't have the chimney. I'll have to make a copper chimney to run this experiment to really be able to use that flagpole effectively, because it was getting too hot. But we'll see, because this temperature should drop down here on the smokestack there. We're about 200. See where it drops down to. That's a manageable amount of smoke, but before it wasn't. So I'm grilling out here. Charcoal grill fired up. Just waiting for those coals to take off. And we'll get her cooked. I'll be back with you. Let's just say 1 hour from ignition. We'll check everything. That should allow everything to stabilize. Well, unfortunately, I got it turned down. The gasket's leaking like crazy with my double bubbler contraption, but I'm just gonna leave it hooked up because it's like less smoke driving over to the neighbors. So we'll just leave this super contraption alone until it fails. I ran out of, it's just electrical tape seal. We got this pipe. It's warm to the touch, but it's not super hot. Find out if it melts. So we just hooked this up. We're about 20 minutes from ignition. Let's see what temperatures we got. Holding about 330 and 230. Walk right under there. 160. So yeah, varies from about 130. It's warmer at the bottom. Let's read the bottom temperatures. That wood is yet to ignite because that's mostly an inert environment in there because the oxygen's getting all used up. And yeah, we're smoking. Oh, it's smoking. Let's just let it rock and roll. Whew. Smoking me out. It smells really good. Well, another fail. I just shut it off. My gasket's just leaking too much in my bucket to sustain. Ran for about 15 minutes. Turned the water to beer color, dark piss. So yeah. Wah, wah, wah. But we'll revisit it. See, either got to improve the gasket or we got to, I'm going to try with a pressure cooker next as a container for my wood. And we'll go from there.